So let me ask you if you could explain the difference between felony murder and murder. And I guess I'm asking specifically in the case of the third man, William Bryan, who was found not guilty of malice murder, but guilty of felony murder.
So, malice murder in Georgia, anyway, it's similar to an intentional murder in other states. It simply means you intended to kill somebody and you actually did kill them. It doesn't require any premeditation whatsoever. Felony murder is a rule across virtually every state in the United States where if you participate in a felony and somebody is killed as a result of that, you can be responsible, just as responsible for murder as if you had pulled the trigger yourself. And the simplest example is three men go in to rob a bank, and one of the three men shoots and kills a clerk or a guard. The other men who go in to rob the bank with him are also guilty of murder, but it's felony murder, not intentional murder or not malice murder. The state of Georgia, or the county here, proceeded under two theories against the other two men. One was that they were accomplices and aided and abetted in the actual murder. So the difference would be that he actually intended to kill the individual and helped the person who pulled the trigger kill him in some way. And the jury rejected that with respect to McMichael, the father, and Brian, the third man. But they convicted both of felony murder, that they agreed to participate in a felony, and that during the course of the commission of the felony, an individual was killed. And that's how the felony murder rule works.
And Bruce, tell me what your observation is in terms of 9 counts involved in this case, and obviously murder being the most serious, but there were also counts of aggravated assault and of false imprisonment.
Yes, well, those were some of the felonies that were involved that justified the felony murder rule. In other words, there has to be an underlying felony to be convicted of felony murder. It can't just be that you were, I don't know, shoplifting and somebody got killed. That wouldn't trigger you wouldn't be convicted of felony murder then. There's designated felonies, burglary, robbery, here, aggravated assault, and or false imprisonment or unlawful imprisonment. And the evidence against the third man who was driving behind the pickup truck and who was videotaping this was that he constantly cut Arbery off as Arbery was fleeing from the first two men. And he was convicted of that count of aggravated or whatever, I forgot the exact phrase, but the unlawful imprisonment count. And I believe that's the felony murder count he was also convicted under, so that he stopped Arbery from fleeing, falsely imprisoning him, obstructing his movement, and Arbery's death resulted.
Okay, I certainly appreciate you going through this. It's just, mere moments after the verdict was read, and there was a lot of them. Thank you very much, Bruce Barket. I appreciate it.
Happy to help. Thanks for having me.